Welcome to my review of the KZ EDX Pro. These are like a freshened kind of lineup, shall we say, of the EDX, which is a single DD. I still have the normal EDX, so I will do a comparison video, but that's another time. And as usual, full disclaimer is I bought these myself just from AliExpress. Obviously, I was not paid to do this video. All the thoughts and opinions are my own, and these are priced a little bit more than the originals, but still very cheap. These cost me around £10. The original EDX from last year cost £5 to £6, I think. But yeah, let's just get into it. So as you can see, I've ordered the clear ones, and there's a sneak peek. I've actually used these, so mine actually work, but we'll get to that. And the cables changed, so EDX Pro. Mine are the transparent ones. Some information about Germany, it's kind of cool. Mine are the clear ones, no mic as usual. As you say, if you don't have the mic, less to go wrong. So specs, 15 grams, so it's light, 3.5, connector 0.75 pin type, kind of all usual. 24 ohm impedance and sensitivity of 112. Very easy to power, and they go from 10 hertz, that's quite low, to 20,000 hertz. And yeah, let's get into it. So clear one, quite different to what the other ones used to be, where it's just all white, you couldn't really see inside. So yeah, these are nearly twice the price of the originals as well, so you have to bear that in mind. So obviously mine, as you can see very clear inside, 1DD. Obviously there's the vent for the dynamic. There's also no issues with that vacuum effect or anything like that. It uses the wide nozzle, as you can see. And there's a lip on there to keep it on. Very straightforward design. And yeah, so that's that. In here, I probably won't unpack, but you get 2 small and 2 large. It's the documentation here. And I think they've changed the cable on this one. I've luckily, throughout the years, I've tried a bunch of KZs, and the cables do get better over the years. So yeah, this one's a bit different. I've never had this cable before. Obviously it's the C-type connector. So yeah, I'm going to end the video now. I'm going to open this cable up and see what it's like. Looks a little bit rubbery, but yeah, I'll find out. So yeah, this cable is actually quite different. Anyway, it's a right angle connect, which is good. Big strain relief. It is kind of rubbery, kind of copper colour. It's quite different to what I've seen before from them. Obviously Y split there. So it's, yeah, just the usual kind of connection. This one does say right, just about make it out there. And yeah, I'll have to see what it's like in actual use to see what microphonics are like. But yeah, it's a bit different. Not sure if it's actually better or worse, but it seems to be of a quite good enough quality. And yeah, so I'm going to put a good few hours as well use with the cable. I've already started using the earphones, so they work fine. And I will, in the next bit, do my review, and I'll overlay a graph of what the EDX Pros look like. To show you one again before I get to the next clip. That's just for decoration, as you can see. You can see through the back. They're just doing it for styling, but build quality seems okay. Mine work fine. So yeah, let's get into the actual review in the future. So yes, I finally on to the actual review of the EDX Pros. And before I get into anything else, I've been using it with actual included cable, and it is probably one of the better cables I think KZ has bundled with one of their earphones. I don't know what the cables like with the ZAS, which I do have for review as well. I haven't got round to that yet. I know that includes a different cable as well, but we'll see. But anyway, yes, on to the review of these. These are around £10 for me, and the original EDX was just over £5. But I will do a separate video comparing them with graphs, so that's different. So yeah, so on to the actual EDX Pro. So I'll get into like sensitivity and powering them. These are very easy to power, like no issues at all, which is good. As you say, any phone should power these quite well. Sound stage was okay, and the imaging's okay. There's nothing to shout about. Obviously they are vented as well, which will limit isolation as well. There's the DD there, very simple construction, shall we say. Obviously they're priced in the budget section, so not much to say about. And yeah, so sound, these are V-shaped. As you can see now, I'm going to overlay the graph. And yes, I do have a squig link there, which I'm going to gradually obviously build up. And yes, on the graph you can see it is V-shaped. Now, as you can see, it has also prominent bass and sub-bass. And you can easily tell that from listening to it. The bass is kind of the star of the show, really. It's probably a bit too bassy, but obviously EQ is your friend. But yeah, there's a lot of low end. On some tracks, it feels like the bass is like one note. If you understand what I mean, it's nothing. It's not quality low end, but again, these are very inexpensive, so have to bear that in mind. But as you can see, elevated bass quite a bit. Then it obviously bleeds into the mids a bit. It's not. I kind of expected it for the price. And then obviously by the kind of tuning, it boosts up. You can see like 2K. So that typically makes female vocals forward. Sometimes it can be too forward, but then again it depends on the singer, how it's recorded. So many other different factors. And then it obviously you can see into the lower treble, it still elevates, dips. And then it shoots up again at 5K, which is like roughly the sibilance region. Now I found on some certain tracks, it's a bit spicy, shall we say. And these are actually a smoother tuning than the EDX. Again, I'll explain that further in a different video. Instrument separation was actually okay. Not amazing. Some tracks you can hear where it's the limitations of a cheap DD, but then again it's priced in the budget section. But how instruments are, all sorts of instruments, how they are portrayed over is actually okay. Nothing amazing, but it seems to do quite a good job. Female vocals are more forward, I found, than males, but it depends again on how it's recorded. The frequency range of their voice, so on and so forth. I was expecting to be a bit more aggressive in the tuning, like the EDX was. But these are definitely, like it says in the box, bass tuned earphones. They are definitely that. But again, as you can see, they do have a generic V-shape kind of sound, which I kind of expected. That's where you kind of get this price point. Ignore the peaks at around 8K-ish area, because that's just the resonance from the coupler. The coupler. But again, yes, so it does have elevated lower treble, upper mids, which obviously again, which is vocals. Female vocals do tend to sit. It's okay, nothing amazing. Again, on certain parts of certain songs, it's bright. You can take really short like brightness, because it's not a massive, it's not covering like a large part of the graph, it's bits of a graph. So have to bear that in mind. So you may be sensitive to some of those regions. I only heard it on some parts. It just depends obviously what you listen to, but on the whole it's actually okay. But the mids was actually fine really for what you're actually paying. Treble, again, apart from some of those, is actually okay. It's within I class as acceptable for like the price. Now if this is £50-60, then you wouldn't want it to be like that. But for a budget beta set, it's not too bad at all. But overall, as you can see from the graph, basically a V shape. If you're a bass head, you'll probably like these. If you're not, then you'd have to either not buy them or EQ it back a bit. Obviously, it depends on, just depends on your preferences. But on the whole, they're actually okay. They're nothing to shout about. But the blonde BLO1 is not much more than these, and that's maybe a better pick. But these fit better. These are actually quite a comfortable fit. I wore these for hours today, without no problem at all, with some crazy side trance. But yeah, I've tried this on a bunch of different genres. Seems to work quite well on all of them really. But it is basically a V-shaped set. And do I recommend these? Yeah, they're okay. I do prefer these over the normal EDX. I'll explain further in another video. But yeah, on the whole, for like the £10-ish, obviously depends on dollars where you are if you're in American, but for around the £10 mark, they're actually okay. Comes with a good cable. You don't have to upgrade. It's got the wider tips, as you can see, which I prefer. Lip on the nozzle. I do like the design. I don't know what the other colours look like because I haven't seen any reviews or any real pictures of what these look like. But yeah, they're okay. They're nothing amazing. They do perform okay for the price, and that's probably it really. But anything, if you want me to go into like more detail, then please let me know in the comments as usual. But yeah, they're okay. They're a bit on the basic side, but they're okay. They're nothing amazing. It's just kind of average, I'd say. They're not bad, they're not good, they're just kind of average. But yeah, so thanks for watching and take care.